1986. The creation of the Delta HF four-wheel drive. Its 2000cc engine can deliver 165 horsepower and is derived from the tamer turbo 2-litre engine. Transmission is through 4 driven wheels with 3 differentials. A free one at the front, an epicyclic one in the centre coupled to a Ferguson viscous joint, and a self-locking Torsen one at the rear. Top speed is 208 kilometers per hour, and acceleration from 0 to 100 takes 7.8 seconds. It received a warm welcome from the market, and the Delta HF four-wheel drive lost no time in asserting itself and reaching the sales program of 5,000 models required for homologation in Group A. The 1987 rally season opened with the Delta HF four-wheel drive ready to challenge the unknown, following a new ruling which excluded Group B cars. As always, the season opened with the Monte Carlo Rally. There were 6 major manufacturers at the starting line. No one knew the potential of the competitors. It was impossible to guess the outcome. But right from the start, the 3 Deltas of Sabi, Biasion and Kankkunen took the lead, leaving drivers like Salonen and Roll to follow behind. This was so throughout the whole rally. Biasion and Kankkunen ended with the first 2 overall places. The Delta HF four-wheel drive dominated the whole 1987 season and won the Drivers and Manufacturers World Rally Championships, the first for cars derived directly from mass production models. Lancia was all set to continue. The season wasn't finished yet, when in November 1987, the car took on even more sporty features. It was the Delta HF Integrale. The design is more aggressive, with the wider wheel arches, larger wheels and tires, and improved suspension. Commercial success in the wake of sporting success was increasing. 10,000 units sold, over 50% of them exported. 11 wins in 13 months. Between January 87 and February 88, the Delta four-wheel drive won almost everything, and handsomely too. More than all the other models that have been Lancia's glory in rallies, including the legendary Stratos. The Integrale made its debut on the Rally of Portugal. Making Mickey Biasion and Mikael Eriksson race with the new Integrale in such a historically arduous rally as the Portuguese one could be a risk. But it's a calculated one. Indeed, the Italian won, well in front of Alex Fiorio and Yves Loubet in their Delta four-wheel drives. The Delta tradition continues. Like the S4 and later the four-wheel drive, the Integrale 2 begins its career in the World Championship with a victory. More than a dream, the Safari is a nightmare. Lancia has tried to win several times in Kenya, but for some reason or another, this ambition has always just been out of reach. It was the Delta Integrale that took the sour taste out of the African trial, and an impeccable Mickey Biasion. What was the magic needed to win such a tough rally? Perhaps the toughest of them all with a car born as a peaceful family saloon.
Direi che è stato il lavoro di tutta un'equipe.
Well, I should say it was more teamwork than magic. There's no magic in competitive driving. It's a matter of working seriously to develop a car technologically and strengthen it. I should say that all this led to turning this everyday car into a very sturdy one that was able to win on the hardest roads and circuits in the world.
The World Rally Championship has been won 5 months ahead of the end. A triumph with 3 Lancia drivers in the top 3 places of the world ranking. May 1989. The Delta HF Integrale 16-valve came on the scene. The new feature was 4 valves per cylinder. This achieved more power, which is now 200 horsepower, and an overall improvement of engine performance with a remarkable delivery of torque at low speeds. The clutch is hydraulically controlled. The braking system is stronger and coupled to an advanced ABS system. The suspension system has been altered and the wheels are larger. The bonnet has been raised to accommodate the new 16-valve head, making the front of the car even more aggressive. Sales continue to be high. In 1990, over 7,000 buyers could themselves feel in some way part of the unbeaten domination in the rallying world. The world title went to Lancia in both 1989 and 1990. The thrilling experiences for Lancia were on the Rally of Portugal and the Safari in 1988, even if they were only the stages of the first two winning events for the Delta Integrale, from Kenyan tracks to Argentina, where it won the decisive victory to ensure another world title. In a year and a few months, the saloon offered 12 more repeats. So in October 1989, there is only the World Drivers' Championship at stake, which is almost within Mickey Biazion's grasp. But on the eve of the San Remo event, the Delta was ready for him with a new multi-valve head. The Delta Integrale 16-valve made its debut at San Remo in 1989.
Direi che è uno dei ricordi più belli della mia carriera.
Yes, I should say it is one of the most cherished memories of my career. All I needed was a fifth place to win the World Championship for the second time. But it was the first appearance with the new Delta 16-valve. Every time I've driven a new car, I've always won. So I valued this race very particularly. A puncture during the dirt lap had delayed me, and I knew that my car was the best prepared for asphalt, even if the new 16-valve was less agreeable to drive than the old 8-valve. And during the last night through the San Remo hinterland, I managed to recover the minute and 40 seconds over my direct contestant, Sainz. And this led me to win the event by 5 seconds over Fiorio. Much to my satisfaction, I'd say.
Monte Carlo, 1990. Oriol, how did the Delta cope on mostly dry terrain?
Je crois que c'est une voiture qui est, disons, agile.
I think it is a nimble car because it's small. We were on narrow roads and slippery surfaces. I think it was a series of things. We had the opportunity to test the car, but the important thing was to find a compromise, as we absolutely couldn't know whether it would be dry, light, or whether it would rain. So, we found a good compromise, and it was possible to create an extremely efficient car. I think it was everything together. Car, tyres, team. The entire team worked for this win.
Je crois que c'est tout un team qui a travaillé à cette victoire.
For everyone, the Acropolis Rally has always been the most African one of the European events. Stones that would trouble even the sturdiest off-road vehicle and enormous holes. On Greek roads, the worst is an everyday item. And service times between one special stage and the next are very short indeed. Kankkunen, what did winning the 1991 Acropolis mean for you? And what helped you get closer to Carlos Sainz in the championship ranking?
Yes, it was not so bad. It was a long time ago. I just remember it, but it was okay. And the car was going in that rally, let's say, we were a little bit better than Toyota, and our tires were working very well. So the car has improved, and it's all the time getting a bit better. So we are very close. I think at the moment we are equal with Toyota, or maybe a little bit in front. Depends about conditions. Reliability of the car has been always very good. If you think about, example, Africa Safari Rally example, there are no problems at all. So the car has always been very good for that.
4 consecutive international wins are an exceptional record. Today, a new product is born to keep in step with competitive needs, to continue winning, and to offer the customer an even more advanced and aggressive car. Between 1986 and 1990, the demand for four-wheel drive cars in Europe increased by 36%, from 106,690 units registered in 1986 to 145,465 in 1990. If within this niche we note the demand for high-performance four-wheel drive models, we find that the 41,028 units of 1986 became 61,847 in 1990, with a 50% increase. And the Delta share went from 5% in 1986 to 26% in 1990. This is unquestioned performance and proof that the experienced, competent customer wanting performance and reliability has clearly made his choice. The Delta HF Integrale represents the natural development of the Lancia theme in terms of innovation and sportiveness. The front-rear track has been increased to improve stability and road holding. The front track is now 1,502 millimeters, and the rear is 1,500 millimeters. The bonnet is new and gives the front of the car an even more sporting appearance, with new grills in the bumper. The headlamps are all the same size, and the lenticular solution has been adopted for the low beams. This warrants better lighting on the car's axis. The fog lights, too, have new features. Anyone used to high performance knows how important perfect lighting is for safe, trouble-free driving in all conditions. The Delta HF Integrale also offers a new shape of the front and rear wheel arches to give an extremely bold yet smooth appearance. Two alterations have improved the CX, the new box skirts under the door, and also the adjustable spoiler in the tailgate, which completes the sporty style and greatly improves airload, thus motricity and competitive use. The exhaust pipe, which is completely new, now has a single outlet. The new light alloy wheels derive from those used in rallies, with 5 studs and rims widened to 7.5 inches to improve driving accuracy. The vents have been designed to improve brake cooling. And complete renewal has been done right here on the braking system. New aluminium double-cylinder, fixed Brembo calipers, and thicker self-ventilated brake discs on the front axle. Now it only takes 38 meters to brake from 100 kilometers per hour to standstill. New calipers and larger discs on the rear axle. The brake servo is now 8 inches. The ABS is still the reliable Bosch system with 4 channels, 6 sensors, and all the sophisticated, tested and proven solutions linked with four-wheel drive. The front and rear suspension has been basically renewed. Reinforced arms and struts, larger, stiffer springs to respond to heavier stresses. Blade shock absorbers and stem with a larger diameter. The front suspension is anchored to the structure by the newly designed domes, connected by an aluminium bar. The result is improved torsional rigidity of the body and more accurate road performance. And now, let's step inside the Delta HF Integrale. The customary feeling of sportiveness it gives out is stronger still with the standard Alcantara covered Recaro seats, which are also available in black leather. Air conditioning is offered as an optional extra. The new graphics. And the new leather 3-spoke Momo steering wheel. The steering box is now larger, and the power steering pump has a larger capacity to reduce effort at the steering wheel. And lastly, the engine. The tested and proven 1995cc 16-valve engine the protagonist of so many victories, now increases from 200 to 210 horsepower at 5,750 RPM, with a maximum torque of 31 kilogram-meters. Top speed is 220 kilometers per hour, but above all, the Delta HF Integrale has an acceleration that takes it to 100 kilometers per hour in just 5.7 seconds. While the standing start kilometer is reached in merely 26.1 seconds. Everything that has been modernized on the Delta HF Integrale determines three fundamental advancements: higher average speed, improved safety with high performance, better lateral acceleration, as may be seen from this trial in parallel. Compared with the previous version, the advantage over a distance of 1 kilometer is approximately 1.5 seconds on dry tarmac and as much as 4 seconds on a gravel track. This is the result of the changes made to the Delta HF Integrale, changes brought forward by competition for competition. A competition car is always the expression of complex and refined techniques, although the parameters, or rather the parameter for assessment, is incredibly simple, direct and universally understandable: the time it takes to travel a certain distance. It doesn't matter whether it's the fastest car on the street, the best in acceleration or road holding. What does matter is that all these features are mixed uniquely, so that it is faster than the rest on a certain track. The Delta HF Integrale is no exception to the rule, and represents the epitome of continuous development, constant striving for innovation, which is exalted in the commercial life of the model and in its competitiveness on the racetrack.